Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness has appointed the officers of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our church. Amen. Order clerk.
On draft number 1 for the administration of
Next order.
on draft number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
On draft number 3, messages.
Next order.
On draft number 4, petitions.
Next order.
On draft number 5, notices of motion.
Next order.
On draft number 7, statements.
Next order.
On draft number 8, motions stroke bills. Motion: enhance water tracking to improve access to meet survival requirements.
Honorable Halima.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I raise to move the motion enhance water tracking to improve access to meet survival requirements. That aware that Constitution of Kenya under Article 43 1B guarantees every person a right to clean and safe water in adequate quantities and universal access to safe and affordable drinking water is a pillar according to sustainable development goal. Further aware that water and sanitation services is a function of county government according to the 4th schedule of the Constitution of Kenya. Appreciating that the county government has been carrying out water tracking to areas that have been adversely affected by drought to provide water for human and livestock consumption as a short-term mitigation measures. Concerned that the water tank trucks are not enough compared to number of households and livestock in need of clean, safe water. Further concerned that it takes too long to surface the truck in instances of breakdown, undermining the effort of provision of essential services. This House urges the County Executive Committee member for water, environment, natural resources and energy to increase the number of water tank trucks for supply of water for both human and livestock consumption. Second, to sink boreholes to extract groundwater from underground aquifers. Construction and protection of water banks. Establish a database on average consumption of water per household to guide in determination of trucks required. Declare drought as disaster to expected below average rainfall as per meteorological forecast. Mr. Speaker, sir, this motion I brought in because it's water is a critical commodity for human survival, and most of the pastoral areas right now, because of the prolonged drought and missed rain for over several seasons, the water scarcity is the order of the day, whereby some of the settlements are even displaced because of water shortages. Temporary, within June, settlement like Lafe was displaced because of the breakdown of the borehole. Thirdly, in those areas, most of the time when the drillings were done, mostly in more than 3 times, the underground water were not available. So the expenses are gone into, and mainly sometimes the drillings does not fetch the required expected result. And in some areas where the water pans, the shallow water pans were there, because of the hot sun, mostly does not go more than 6 months for use. And coupled with now the current situation, whereby most of the settlements in Chelabod and even other areas within our county, which are occupied by the pastoralist community, but mainly focusing the Chelab zone, which is the very vast and areas, a very vast and an area that has a lot of shortcomings in terms of insecurity and also the lack of water in various settlements. So with that in mind, the government has set aside water tracking system through my intervention to the governor, and I really thank that, as I already indicated, because we had 2 water trackers which are on the ground, but most of the time lapses like 6 days without the settlement receiving water for human consumption, because the 2 trucks serve both livestock and human supply. The livestock right now, most of the areas closer to the water points, there are no pasture. The pasture are depleted, so the animals move far away from water points. And livestock are the main livelihood of our community, the pastoral community. And for them to protect their property, which is the livestock, they go far into those rangelands to look for pasture for the livestock. As the government, it is our responsibility to ensure that the property of our communities are being cared for in terms of supply of water to reach wherever they are. So in that order, the 2 trucks supply alternately both human and livestock. And the settlements that these trucks serve are quite a distance from Bassa, Lafe, Dololodakiye, Malkagala, Lakole, all those areas. Most of the places, where there are water like Lafe, the water are not good for human consumption. Mostly they are saline. So when they use for more than 2-3 days, you see there are some complaints about some cause of the salty water. So there is that health situation which are feared to accompany, because the water in a few boreholes which are available are not fit for human consumption. With that, my recommendation it has already indicated that since we have some water pans, which and we are anticipating even if they are going to be a few days rain, still we are within the anticipation that we are going to receive the mercy of God, that we are going to receive the rain. Some of these pans in the Lolo Dakie and Malkagala are open and sometimes are used by even the domestic animals like donkeys, and the waters are usually spoiled for human consumption, and they are recurrently they are not protected, the pans. So there is a need, at least since those water, the water point, the pans, at times when it rains well, can be used for a period of like 6 months, needs some protection, and the city are even trying to expand in terms of covering more surface area of receiving water and storing. So those pans are not big enough to accommodate enough water for the residents. But when we propose the water department allocate funds to expand it and desil it and then protect it, that water can serve for a period of even 6 months, 7 months, or even a year, which can also help. Like Malkagala, already the borehole was drilled in 2021, but the water is saline and not, after analysis done, it is found that it is not good for human consumption. So similarly, the Lolodakie, the Basa, the water, the drillings did not bear fruit. So with that, and the prolonged drought which may extend, it's my concern and my request that the Department of Water give attention to those areas. Maybe in other areas also, similarly, there are such, in those pastoral areas, similar to my ward, there may be such problem which are currently at hand. Right now, as I am speaking, those settlements have not received water for consumption for the consecutive 6 days. Imagine of the schools, imagine of the health facilities, imagine of the children and the pregnant mothers and elderly soul. These are the period of suffering itself by itself because of the impact of the drought, like lack of adequate food. But when in addition we have that, we may even go in we can be faced with the outbreak of diseases which are related to hygiene, because the lack of water lead to lack of hygiene, and they can be connected to other health hazards. So I am pleading to the concerned ministry, which are also relating to the treasury. Mostly when we go, and yesterday I was at water, I met with the water engineers, the technical team, and we discussed in details about what are the reasons why, however, the county has planned to track water, why the water are not adequately supplied to the areas. And these are attached to the treasury challenges, whereby lack of paying the pending bills. Most of the contractors do not trust the county government to give services, and those who give services, they are not up to the standard. Some of them cannot even repair their vehicles when it gets breakdown. Those are the services that are outsourced, and we expect such outsourced services when the owners usually take very fast action when there is a breakdown of the water tracker. If there is issues of the tires and any other breakdown, any mechanical, they take fast action, and because they know water is life. But what is happening is that those one of the track is for county government and one desired. In both instances, both are in they are broken down, and up to now they are not repaired, and those people have not received their water for the last 6 days. And this is now the trend. Usually it's not something that just happened now, but it is usually the trend, and during this time people really suffer because of the water shortage. So I am with this all recommendation that I have put in place, I have suggested, recommended, we hope with this intervention, the current crisis situation in preparedness, because soon if the rain is going to the rainfall falls, and maybe it stops where it is now, and we are not going to receive no more rain, then the situation, if we are not going to focus and look at these problems and try to capture them in time, then the situation will be worse, and the starvation plus lack of water will see our county, our people perish. So with this, I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I welcome other opinions. Thank you.
Speaker. Do you have a second? Speaker. I second the motion. I have the same problem in Serito Ward. The tracking problem in Modogashe also, we have a lot of problem, water problem. We have to move around 40-50 kilometers for people to get water. But the main problem in this case is there is substandard autobuses being sent there by county. I'm standing here towards the county government to at least send us condition autobuses to the ground. Right now, they have sent there 2 autobuses, both of them are broken down and it is just not functional. So there is a lot of problem. We need it to be, we need like 4 or 5 autobuses, because the entire town is getting water through autobuses, because the nearest water point from Modogashe is 40 kilometers. So they are depending on the autobuses. We have secondary school, we have primary school, we have a lot of problems. We urge the executive to allocate more money to the tracking until long-lasting solution is to be found. Thank you.
Honorable members, aware that Constitution of Kenya under Article 43 1B guarantees every person a right to clean and safe water in adequate quantities, and universal access to safe and affordable drinking water is a pillar according to Sustainable Development Goal. Further aware that water and sanitation services is a function of the county government according to the 4th schedule of the Constitution of Kenya. Appreciating that the county government has been carrying out water tracking to areas that have been adversely affected by drought to provide water for human and livestock consumption as a short-term mitigation measure. Concerned that the water tracks are not enough compared to the number of households and livestock in need of clean, safe water. Further concerned that it takes too long to service the track in instances of breakdown, undermining the effort of provision of essential services. This House urges the County Executive Committee member for Water, Environment, Natural Resources and Energy to 1. Increase the number of water tank trucks for the supply of water for both human and livestock consumption. Sink boreholes to extract groundwater from underground aquifers. Construction and protection of water pans. Establish a database on average consumption of water per household to guide in determination of trucks required. Declare drought as a disaster due to expected below average rainfall as per meteorological forecast. The floor is now open for debate. Honorable Kiambi.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipea nafasi nisaidie kuhusu mjadala ya mambo ya maji. Kama vile mnajua maji ni uhai ya kila mtu na kila kitu. Na hii maji haileti shida pale moja, ni karibu lisote 10 hata hii ya tauni shida. Kwa hivyo sasa ningeambia serikali ya kaunti badala ya hiyo maji inabebwa na lori kupelekea watu washimbe mbwao kwa wingi. After 10 kilometers ama 5 kilometers mbwao inashimbwa. Kwa sababu hiyo ndio rahisi. Mwananchi atakuwa akipata maji na hata wanyama. Lakini hii ya kupeleka na ngari, unajua saa nyingine ngari inaweza kufikia njiani watu walale njaa bila maji. Saa nyingine inaweza toroka miguu, lakini ile ya kutoa chini kwa ardhi ile itakuwa ikiendelea na watu watakuwa wakitumia. Na hata pia ikiwa kwa area nzuri, wanaweza lima hata naye mboga kidogo hapa karibu na mboma hapa, inachukua kitoro ya ugali. Kwa hivyo sasa tuambie serikali ya county na national government itoe usaidizi yoyote, kwa sababu hiyo watu wako hiyo wanaumia na maji na pia wanyama. Mbwaus kishimbo kwa wingi, visima kwa wingi, ili hiyo watu wafaidike na maji tafadhali. Na pia kabla washimbe hiyo ya lori, maji hiyo inapelekwa na lori, iwe inapelekwa tu ikisaidia mwananchi. Hiyo watu wanaumia. Pia hapa town tunaweza eleza Iwasco, maji hapa town itoshi. Kama hii ile ya Wabera yote kiwanjani hakuna maji, sijui ni nini walifanya. Sijui walileta sola nayo ina nguvu kama stima ya kutoa ile maji chini ili iweze kusambazwa kwa watu wote. Kwa hivyo sida iko mingi ya maji Iwasco ya hapa town improve ku supply maji. Kama ni hiyo sola waache naye stima iendelee kufuta maji kwa chini. Thank you.
Honorable Tumala.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also rise to support the motion brought by Honorable Golle as a timely one. Oldonyoro is the only ward, according to me, with no safe water and with no piped water, with no clean water. We get our water through wells in the river, which is adjacent to the town center. And this water at present is very dangerous. So the more the wells go down, the more it gets bad. And I've been hearing the issues of cholera in the area some few days ago. And I think if nothing happens, it shows that we have a lot of problems because of maybe more people will be contracting cholera disease due to the dirty water. Secondly, there is this Nduguzangu water pipe, the water from Osomiro, which was there, constructed by the Catholic missionaries, and died long time ago because of lack of funding, because the donors withdrew their funding. The priests who knew the donors was transferred from the area, and as such there was no more funding. There's this Safaricom network machine which was constructed just next to the water the water tanks. One time we had a meeting because that machine is actually was constructed next to the water tanks, and as such nobody claimed that it's mine. We wanted it. The funds from, because they pay something like 65,000 or 100,000 per year, we wanted that money to be given to the to Nduguzangu or to the community, to the water committee, to assist us rebuild that water pipe. On the process of that discussion, I think we did not agree, because the council at that time was wanted to take that at his, and we as the community, we refused him to do that because he wanted to take it personally. Then we said no, let's have this the funding from the Safaricom from that machine to be used to assist that water, the piping of that water from Waso to Lunyuru, because the donors are not there now. I don't know what happened, that we did not get the money. Well, the pipe, the Safaricom item is still there and working, and we don't know who has been receiving this money, which we wanted to use it for the water committee to assist now in funding that pipe water from Waso so as to assist the community get water from Waso, because that was the only self water we could get for that pipeline, which got destroyed several years ago. Now my question is, I wanted to know where that money is going, or who is benefiting from that Safaricom money, because we don't know where it is. And nobody has actually, we tried to ask several people whether who is receiving this money, and we could not get the answer. So I am requesting the authorities concerned to tell us where this money is going, because it's over 10 years now. Over 10 years.
Which are these authorities concerned?
Maybe the Safaricom people. I think it's Safaricom. I don't know, and how to approach them is maybe what I don't know. And
Honorable member, as a nominated member from that area, you have the leeway to write a letter to the Safaricom and ask that question.
Thank you, sir. Another thing, Mr. Speaker, is that Oldonyiro has no, the water table is very close to the water table actually is actually not there. What is there is the runoff when it rains. Water does not sink, and as such, what we are usually to construction is what we call the sand dams. Sand dams are constructed inside rivers. That's the only way we can get water. I think if you've been to that area, especially towards Kipsing, there is the Kipsing River, and a sand dam is just adjacent to the road, to the small center, the Kipsing small center. And maybe for us to get more water is more construction of sand dams in the whole world. Otherwise, constructing maybe or trying to erect the other means of getting water will not work in Oldonyiro, except maybe the issues of sand dam. Well, there are dams. There are also dams and few dams, and since the area is an elephant, there's an elephant corridor. Elephants all the time destroy these dams of ours. Although elephants also go there and scoop water from the sand dams, but it's better off than even the sand dams, because the sand dams, they totally destroy most of the sand dams in the area, as their number is all the time increasing. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I support the motion. I agree with the motion. Sorry.
Honorable Deka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I stand to support the motion. Mr. Speaker, the motion touches on the lives of our people. Mr. Speaker, as a mother, I really feel for mothers out there tracking long distance to fetch water and to use for domestic uses. I appreciate the move of the motion and I give my full support for this motion to be implemented. With that, I beg honorable members to support this motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, once again.
Honorable Abdurrashid. And sorry, I've been calling you Honorable Gira. I think that is an alien name in this house. And we ask the answer team to delete whatever we talked of Gira and replace it with Honorable Bashir.
That's a very good name, sir.
But it is an alien name in this house.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. As moved by my colleague from Gerard, the water issue has a face of a woman. Basically, it has a face of a woman because of so many reasons, but I will touch just a few. Water is good for the domestic use, for bathing, cleaning, among many other. And water is the most basic commodity a human requires in his life. It can be scientifically proven that a 70% or 80% body of a human being is composed of water. For that reason, I find it very difficult to talk or raise a concern in 21st century about the shortage of water in Isiolo County. We hire people with a very big titles in this county. We call them engineers, hydrologists, among many other names. But we are not getting value for their profession. Isiolo is blessed with a lot, many sources of water. Merti Akiuba is the one. As earlier indicated by my colleague, Merti Akiuba has a capacity of satisfying a whole region, maybe Eastern and East African region. But the people sitting on that deposit of water are not benefiting. It's a shame to this county. It's a shame to the Department of Water. So those people need to be tasked to work day and night so that our people get what they are paid for. Garbatula, where I come from, as the name suggests, is a town that sits on a large deposit of water. The water table is so high. But the problem is the salinity of the water. It's too salty. You can't wash clothes with it. Drinking is something else. But we have people with the technology, maybe to desalinate or do other things. Number one. Number two, the management of the said water raised by my colleague is something else. We are building sand dams everywhere. We are drilling boreholes everywhere, but it only works only a year or two. From there, nothing else will happen. Go anywhere within Isiolo County, you will find a well in every grazing area, which is not working. We have a lot of donors coming in to give us, maybe to provide us with drilling of wells, just for showcasing, nothing beneficial. We are pumping in a lot of money, donors' money goes there, county government funds goes there, but nothing good is coming out of it. Maybe her recommendation is good, but it is not enough. The technicality part must come in. Now maybe the rainy season has just begun. We will complain about the storm management, water storm in Isiolo County. Maybe water running down from the hills of Meru is disturbing the residents of Isiolo. We maybe complain now, but later we will complain about the same water. Maybe storm water management must be something must be think about. Where our majority leader comes from, the worst area in Isiolo. During our campaigns period, I met an elder from Golle, specifically in Isiolo, the spiritual one, Golle, complaining about water. A lorry which is carrying, maybe transporting a fuel for the Safaricom people, by the mercy of the contractor, is giving them a water which is mixed up with a diesel. I think that is inhuman. It needs to be corrected. Our people should not be begging for water. They are right, they must be given. So let us not paint the papers with a lot of recommendation, and then still our people down there complaining. 2 days ago, I was in Makaraka with the hydrologist and some engineers. They dug a borehole with maybe 4 cubic meters with a capacity of maybe pumping the water in hour around 4,000 to 7,000 to 4,000 to 7,000 meter cubic per hour. But the water has a higher level of chloride, which is a bone crushing. We might be requesting our water to be drilled, but a hazard measures must be put in place. Our people are given that water, which is not good. Maybe they require, but it has a negative impact on their health, which is very expensive. A case example is something that happened in Marsabit some time back. I saw it on a media that I don't know the specific part of the Marsabit, that people are dying of cancer, frustrated by the bad water that people are given. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg your office, the title be given to you as the Speaker of the County Assembly, to take it up as a personal issue. Get us some right people to address this issue once and for all.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to support this motion. I think water, to get water by the citizens of this country, by extension, the people of Isiolo County, is a right. It is actually water which is supposed to come to the people, to every household, to every individual. Not every day our women carry their children in front of the hill and water on their back, every day tracking so many kilometers looking for water. That is violation of human rights. And this country, county has got a role, has got a responsibility to provide water for the communities of this country. I give a case example of Modogash. Modogash has never had water since I was young, up to date. I had a chance of interacting with some organization through my campaign for human rights activism, that Red Cross had 8 10 million shillings to give towards the provision of water in Modogash. But they wanted the county to give a goodwill and some contribution. There was a dispute between the two neighboring communities that could not be addressed. As a result, that money went back to the donor. That shows how actually our county is lacking the goodwill to provide their people fresh water, both for human consumption and livestock. In Kenya, where there is a lot of water sources traversing Kenya, you find the water, clean water cannot be given to the people, including the schools. And then the management of water, I think what is lacking here is not even lack of money to provide water. It is mismanagement. Because a borehole is sunk, it is handed over to the community, few months down the line, then it gets breakdown. You cannot get even a son or a daughter from that village to maintain that borehole. A system has not been put in place to make communities, sustainably get water or manage their water policy. The backstop is actually to the county and the relevant department. And water during the rainy season destroys building. Every time now we are running after the mitigation towards the disaster. The water just goes, and few months later, we are all now thirsty again, crying for water. We have got northern, what is called, Wasonyiro North Development Authority, with a headquarters based in Isiolo. One of their responsibility is actually water. With so many engineers employed under that authority, we cannot exactly say even what role they are playing for the intervention during such a time of the dry spell. So the money is being given by donors, like Minister of Agriculture and Livestock has been funding borehole drilling and water plant construction in Isiolo County. But every time you hear this problem is persistent. As Mheshimiwa Abdurrashid of Garbatula is saying, that most of the boreholes in our rangeland has a problem of, most of them are not fit for human consumption. But during the survey, I think the technical people are supposed to ascertain whether there is fresh water or water which is not good for human consumption. So it means our data probably is not accurate, because money is spent just to find that after drilling, that water is now crossed, the borehole is closed, they say it is not fit for human consumption. Such cases are also rampant within this county. I beg to support this motion and ask actually every member to support this, and we come up with a meaningful solution to this problem. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
I also rise to support the motion. Because, Mr. Speaker, what Honorable Halima has just explained is cutting across all the world, not only Zarab. We are all experiencing the same problem. And Mr. Speaker, being a chair of that committee, I can as well request my members that having known that this problem is affecting our people badly, I I think there will be an agreement with me that when it comes to budget making process, more especially the budget supplementary, I had members to consider increasing the fund that is allocated to that ministry, so that, Mr. Speaker, whatever we are talking, or what Halima has just given as the bulletin here down, can be realized. Mr. Speaker, I think I don't whether I'm correct or not. I think Isiolo has a lot of aquifers, having the bigger one being in left, that can provide water even for 20 years. And Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate that we are the same people complaining that we don't have water. Also, Mr. Speaker, if we see a lot of flooding that we always experience at that is a reservoir and the other areas, Mr. Speaker, it is only that we are lacking expertise in terms of water tracking and also water tapping. So that, Mr. Speaker, we could not be talking the same issue. So I think, Mr. Speaker, going forward, we need to establish bigger dams, mega dams, in those downwards areas, more especially maybe Nefti, or even where Wasonyoro is ending, so that, Mr. Speaker, we can start even irrigation in our area to cater the issue of food insecurity. Also, Mr. Speaker, as much as I agree with the motion itself, Mr. Speaker, we need to harmonize all the partners that are undertaking water issues, to bring them together, so that we also avoid the issue of duplication. Because as we go around, you might find more than 3 organizations which are funding water projects, but they are not coordinating the activity. So it means that we find one area, 3 balls being sunk, at the same time they are not functioning. So I think it's high time for us as a county government, and more especially the committee or even the assembly, to bring this on board and give them some direction. And that one can just be done through a regulation by this house. Mr. Speaker, the other thing is that we need also to re-energize our water committee at a local level, because at the end of the day, as much as the government is doing that, it is the work of the community also to take care of that project, because without them owning that project, then it means it will just continue breaking down and asking for the county government or even the partners to repair. So at the end of the day, we also need to take that charge as a community at that level. Also, Mr. Speaker, I've seen a situation whereby we use a lot of money drilling balls and drilling balls now and then. So, Mr. Speaker, I think we need to come with an idea of us procuring that drilling track, because drilling balls now and then is more costly than us procuring that drilling track, and at the same time having our own engineers, the water engineers, who originate from this place, who know the problem of these people. Because, Mr. Speaker, we only have seasonal people who come and go without internalizing our problem as Isiolo County. So I think going forward as a county, as maybe a remedy to our problem, we need to have that, the water track, drilling track, at the same time also the expertise, so that, Mr. Speaker, as much as we channel the money to that ministry, we also have the people who have that capacity of doing it, and also who can manage it well. Because without doing that, we continue crying and saying we have no water, nobody is doing for us, it has maybe broken down, and that one maybe happens simply because we don't have the expertise, at the same time also the way we manage. So I think it's high time for us to do that. And also, Mr. Speaker, going forward, we need also to have clear policies on the issue of water. Because now, what maybe Warma is doing is different from maybe what the ministry is doing. So I think all these body concerned with water, they need to bring us a policy, a good one, which now caters our needs. So that, Mr. Speaker, the issue that Honorable for Garbatula is talking about, desalination of water, actually there was a time we talked the same here in the first assembly. And Mr. Speaker, even what people are taking as Honorable Letimala said, even the people around, they don't get water. Where I stay, Mr. Speaker, people don't get clean water. And even we get water after a week. And even it comes just few minutes, like 20 minutes. So I think also we need to enhance the capacity of Iwasco so that they also give us adequate water and also in that aspect clean water for our people. And they consider also to pipe to other wards like even in Ngaramara, because Ngaramara is just here. The water that we take in Ngaramara, they are not fit for human consumption. Because actually, if you do your research or even previously, some people are diagnosed with a stone, kidney stone. And that one happens as a result of salt water. It always deposits in your kidney until now your kidney fails to function. And that one, Mr. Speaker, in the last 3 years, we have lost a lot of people due to that kidney failure. And it is being brought by this water. So, Mr. Speaker, I will not say that even drilling the bowls is enough for our people. Our people need to get clean water. And it is the work of this assembly to work on the same, to task the Iwasco that they should provide clean water. If not even from that bowl, they should look for even a river around which has clean water and they direct to our people. So, Mr. Speaker, I think it's the right time for us to do. And also, as maybe we expect the rains, and we pray that maybe it can be a flooding one, I think, Mr. Speaker, it is good for us to address it to the concerned authority. And Mr. Speaker, I understand that the current CECs who are there, I think they are just outgoing. So I think the same record, I think, should be kept for the incoming CECs. And that's why maybe we can urge members, in the next motion, we agree so that we have our own government that we can task. Because the one that we are talking about, you cannot just task someone who is almost going. So as the time comes, I think we need to have that leeway of the assembly questioning the executive directive, not through papers. Because, Mr. Speaker, all these problems can be addressed if people talk. So I think going forward, the leader of majority and the entire leadership in the House, and even with your lead, Mr. Speaker, we can talk that one with the governor so that we be given that opportunity of the executive answering our question directly, so that we reduce this all paperwork, which maybe at the end of the day will not be helpful to our people. I know people will appreciate when they hear Mheshimiwa Losu talking and defending their rights, but how is that implemented? How is that practical to the problem that people are facing? So, Mr. Speaker, going forward, we need to have the executive answering the question directly, or even appearing, in the case of anything, appearing. In that aspect, it has to be supported by the budget we are allocating. So I think we need to have to map the problem that we are facing as a county, so that when you are doing budgeting, we budget towards our problem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Honorable Speaker, this motion is timely. I thank Madam Honorable Goro for bringing this motion at this particular time. You know, sometimes we also need to ask ourselves, what are we doing, even as members, as the people, the allies of the society? What are we doing? Are we doing it really right? Because sometimes I really fail to understand how people in Africa operate. Because we people in this country, a place that water is plenty, the part is, even in Isiolo, there is a lot of water. Because if you compare a country like Israel or Saudi Arabia, it's a desert. They are desert countries. But they drink clean water. There is a lot of technology that can be used. Even after drilling the water, it can be made good for people to drink. Those are the things that we should be talking about At the same time, we should teach our people about water harvesting, especially we people who are in town, where we have built mabati houses. We need to tap that water and make it, because we should not be crying every time. When there is rain, we are crying. When there is no rain, we are crying. At least we need to use our initiative, because life is just a puzzle. God has given us everything. It is for us to know what is happening. I like what Honorable Rosu has said. In this place, we need to buy drilling machines, because hiring to drill, it is costly than having our own machine. It has been done in other counties, like Machakos and even here Meru. So I feel we should buy those machines, drilling machines here, because our water table is so near, we shouldn't be suffering. At the same time, we will cry very soon that our animals have got no pastures. And we can tame this water, this storm water, and make sure that we do a bit of irrigation. Even growing grass, it is not difficult. So we need really to task our experts, because Isiolo, there are very many experts who are even willing to give even free service to our people. Isiolo, it is not like before. We have got so many professionals in various fields, and especially when it comes to water, we have got our own people. I'll talk about Bulapesa. Bulapesa is a forgotten place, Bulapesa World. Water has become a problem. In fact, I'm even surprised when I come here. I go to the loo and find there is water. And in Bulapesa for the last 3 weeks, my people even were ringing me this morning, telling me there is no water, I should go and see a Wasco. You know, an MCA, I'm surprised an MCA is just like a husband. He's being told everything. Do this, do this, do this. So this morning, about 4 people rang me. They told me to go to a Wasco and tell them there is no water for the last 3 weeks in Bulapesa. You know what it tells me? We people in Bulapesa are being discriminated, because if there is water here and no water in Bulapesa, what does that tell us? I think what should happen, the little that is there should be distributed evenly. And we should have 1 or 2 boreholes. In fact, I met, when I went for lunch, I met one of what do you call it? Those people who voted for me, for that matter. He told me I should make sure there is a borehole in Ikabeaju, and there should also be another one, the center of Bulapesa, to make sure that our people do not suffer. Because water is life. And if people, even the brain is composed of water. And I think members, you have realized I'm taking a lot of water here, because it is available. I might reach home and unless I buy. So unless I buy, and as you are aware, we have not been paid. So in fact, I'm acting like a camel. I'm carrying it with me from me. So ladies and honorable, not a matter when our people do not have water, either in Sericho, Ubat, or wherever. It is a sad case. This is a thing that we need to take it seriously. I believe this is not the first time. I believe that even the members who are there before us, they talked about water. This should not be a talking show. this should be a place of action. Whatever we say should be implemented. And if it is not implemented, you should get reason. We should be given reasons as to why. We know there's scarcity of funds, but please, we want people who are trying to assist our people. And with those many remarks, I support the motion, and Mr. Speaker, sir, if it is implemented, we'll be very grateful.
Thank you. The mover of the motion, do you have anything to say as we conclude?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I thank all the members for the inputs. Lastly, sorry. Let me take this opportunity to thank all the members for their inputs, their productive inputs. And lastly, I conclude by the word that as water is life, and currently the situation at my ward is that for a number of almost 6 days, the community in almost the 4 settlements have not received water for the last 6 days. As a matter of urgency, I request the water department through the chair of the water department to address the issue so that the 2 trackers which are already broken down can be repaired so that it start functioning. Additionally, to also procure, even if it's one, so that the surfing, both the livestock and human, the water for both human and livestock consumption will not bring such crisis whereby people go for several days without water, and any kind of situation may come in. And lastly, when procuring, making procurement of those trackers, it's good to consider. Naturally, we think that when we are outsourcing some of these services, we go for the best. But sometimes it may not go the same, because when we outsource, we expect that the services are given adequately and timely. So we expect when those trackers are being done procurement, it's done in a way that the contractor is capable and is able to surface his vehicles wherever there is a breakdown, so that there won't be delay in supplying the water to the suffering communities. So I thank you with those few. And also fuel, one more point. Right now there are some boreholes which are operational. Surfing at Urura, Yamicha, there are some boreholes which are operational, but the livestock herders have no ability to continuously fuel the livestock to enable them get continuous supply of water, because right now, you know, the situation of the livestock, no market, the livestock are skinny, they are even dying, so they have no financial muscles to be able to stand in to support the boreholes. So I'm also requesting the input of the non-governmental organization, the relevant organization, and the county government of Isiolo to come in for the period of this crisis, where we are expecting even the continuity, although the mercy of God is always expected, but with what is going on, the weather that we are seeing, this drought may the rainfall may be short, so meaning that the water crisis will continue and it may worsen. So with that, we ask for support of the fuel for our communities to be able to have continuous supply of water for livestock consumption at the operational boreholes. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put the question that aware that the Constitution of Kenya and Article 43(1)(b) guarantees every person a right to clean and safe water in adequate quantities, and universal access to safe and affordable drinking water is a pillar according to Sustainable Development Goals. Further aware that water and sanitation services is a function of the county government according to the 4th schedule of the Constitution of Kenya. Appreciating that the county government has been carrying out water tracking to areas that have been adversely affected by drought to provide water for human and livestock consumption as a short-term mitigation measure, concerned that the water tank tracks are not enough compared to number of households and livestock in need of clean, safe water. Further concerned that it takes too long to service the truck in instances of breakdown, undermining the effort of provision of essential services. This House urges the County Executive Committee member for Water, Environment, Natural Resources and Energy to 1. Increase the number of water tank trucks for the supply of water for both human and livestock consumption. 2. Sink boreholes to extract groundwater from underground aquifers. 3. Construction and protection of water plants. 4. Establish a database on average consumption of water per household to guide the determination of trucks required. 5. Declare drought as a disaster due to expected below average rainfall as per meteorological forecast. Honorable members, may as many of these opinions say aye. Aye. May those of contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion, alteration of County Assembly calendar.
Honorable Walker.
Motion number 9, alteration of County Assembly calendar. Pursuant to provision standing under 29(4), this House alters its calendar to adjourn on Tuesday, 15th October.
Order members.
Pursuant to provision of standing order 29(4), this House alters its calendar to adjourn on Tuesday, 25th October 2022 until 7th November 2022.
I, Honorable Peter Losu, second the motion.
Honorable members, pursuant to provision of Standing Order 294, this House alters its calendar to adjourn on Tuesday, 25th October 2022 until 7th November 2022. The floor is now open for debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the leader of Majority should explain more about the alteration and the purpose of the adjournment, because it's good for members to be aware the reason as to why we have adjourned, but I will just give it a bit. Just to have later. Mr. Speaker, I think this is the house that operate having a calendar, which at the end of the day we need to follow because it is a replica of National Assembly, whereby even the time the National Assembly and the County Assembly, they all enjoy the same the calendar. But Mr. Speaker, they are matter of importance to our county government because even whatever that the concluded motion that we had previously, and also what we have been discussing the entire sessions, Mr. Speaker, having not functional structures, we cannot be able to discharge whatever we have just discussed. So, Mr. Speaker, we have in mind that the governor forwarded the list of the nominees, and yet the Assembly has not voted and adopted the report on the same. So, Mr. Speaker, the leader of majority has just moved the same motion based on the same, so that we consider the appointments of the CECs and also adopt the report on the same. And then also from there, we consider other issues maybe may arise for the county. So I think it's not a new issue to us, and it's something that we are eagerly waiting so that we pass the nominees for the governor, so that as we also proceed to our recess, they can be also setting other structures that can assist us in terms of coordinating our issues at the world level. And also we understand that without the accounting officers in different ministries, Mr. Speaker, we cannot account or even we cannot access the funds without these accounting officers because they are the people directly answerable to the IFMI system and also the control of budget. So, Mr. Speaker, as we are going for our recess, they will be doing also the issue of chief officers. The same activity will be going. So I think that's the reason as why the leader of majority has just brought the motion for consideration. And so I stand in support as I second it. Thank you.
Honorable Golle, you have something to add? No. Honorable members, I now put the question. Pursuant to provision of Standing Order 294, this House alters its calendar to adjourn on Tuesday, 25th October 2012 until 7th November 2022. May as many of these opinions say aye.
Aye.
May those opposing opinions say nay. The ayes have it. The House is now adjourned up to Tuesday, 25th October 2022 at 2:30 p.m.